Islam Makhachev. Dude goes up one weight class, goes up to 170. He was the 55-pound most dominant champion ever, most title defenses at 55 ever. Just dominates at 170. Like, every round. People are saying it's boring, but listen, man, it's boring if you're a casual. The fact that he was able to do it every round, it was a little frustrating because you wanted Jack to try to adjust, but he couldn't, man. Islam shut his game down right away. He low kick front leg real quick, had him limping real quick. Like within the first round, he had hit it 3 or 4 times. Bad.
Islam is a beast. You know, Islam is a young, very, very hungry. It was my time when I supposed to win every round. But right now, Islam time to beat everybody in every round, you know?
You look at Islam versus JDM, I was very impressed with Islam's feinting. There was one point, because I always say sometimes I overfeint, but that's good because they never know when it's coming. But Islam did that in his last fight with JDM. There was points he just was feinting like 12 times before he even threw a jab. This is later in the fight as well, so I was really impressed with that.
Like you think everyone thinks Charles Oliveira is good until Islam gets on top of him, right? Charles Oliveira sucks comparably to real good grapplers. He's not even near.
He's more of a strictly
jiu-jitsu you just know like the substance of a guy like what Islam is versus a guy like Charles.
Over the last 5 years, Islam Makhachev has emerged as a dominant presence in the UFC, steadily rising through the lightweight division and defeating every challenger with control and precision, capturing the undisputed lightweight. Title did not mark the end of his progress, as he went on to become a 2-time champion and further solidify his status at the top. His calm approach, technical accuracy, and disciplined performances inside the octagon have drawn praise from elite fighters and respected MMA analysts, with many suggesting his level of dominance could rival or even surpass the legacy of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Former champion Henry Cejudo echoed this conversation by highlighting Makhachev's multiple title defenses and success across divisions, while also noting that in a hypothetical matchup between the two, Khabib would likely have the advantage of view that Makhachev himself has acknowledged.
And Khabib legacy. Yes. Just out of pure merit, 100%. Title defense is a two weight division thing, but it's ironic, bro. If they were to fight, Khabib would beat him.
and the crazy
he said it, and he said it himself. Like, dude, if I was to fight this dude, he'd beat me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Whitaker also spoke highly of Islam's performance at welterweight and suggested that a transition to middleweight could realistically happen in the future. He felt Islam had the physical frame to handle the move, while noting that middleweights operate as a noticeably different caliber of competitor. In addition, Whitaker mentioned that a potential matchup with Khamzat Chimaev would have been massive, especially if it took place in Abu Dhabi, where the scale of the fight combined with the location would have elevated the event into a major spectacle for everyone involved.
Ilia Topuria goes up to welterweight and fights Islam Makhachev for the 3rd belt.
Goes up 2 weight divisions.
He's talked about it.
So I thought like Islam might do that. I feel like he might have the size to do that. But
wait, to go to middleweight?
Maybe.
He could.
Wrestlers. They're a different breed, those guys.
Can you imagine Islam Makhachev versus Khamzat Chimaev? That would feed generations. That's crazy.
That would be huge. And then you put it in like Abu Dhabi. Like it'd be wild. Everyone's winning that from that card.
In the end, a much more dominant fight for Islam than maybe we thought. I thought maybe it was going to be a bit more 50-50.
I agree with you.
What did you think of his performance, Jack's performance, and the whole fight?
Yeah, not the most exciting title fight you'll ever see, but let me tell you what, complete dominance, and it's depending on what we do next with him and what's going on, this guy's headed toward GOAT talk.
He emphasized that beyond the excitement factor, Islam's dominance and efficiency are undeniable, describing him as a competitor who commands every phase of a fight and severely restricts what his opponents are able to do. From White's perspective, performances like these are what build lasting legacies, signaling that Islam is steadily entering conversations typically reserved for the sport's all-time greats.
I've been in the fight business since I was 20 years old, and all I ever hear is this guy's going to be a world champion. This guy's going to do this. This guy's going to do that. Everybody says the same thing, and almost nobody ever does or makes it. His father said Khabib will go in and dominate, and he'll have a run, and when he's done, and then Islam will come in behind him and do the same. And, you know, holy shit. It played out exactly the way his father said, which is pretty amazing. I don't know what you asked me, but I hope I answered.
The record for Anderson Silva, 16 wins. He's got the belt in 2 divisions. Like, is there the argument there that he's the greatest of all time?
I think, brother, like, he's a guy, is not a cheater. He does everything right. And when he fights people, he smashes. It's not even conversation. A lot of those guys, you guys call them pound for pound. They have split decision, close round, you know, a lot of like allegation around him. He's the man. Islam Makhachev is the man. And everybody needs to say he's the man. He's the greatest lightweight all the time. And I believe right now.
White also recalled a prediction made years ago by the late Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, explaining that Abdulmanap firmly believed Khabib would first dominate the sport. And once his ERA came to an end, Islam Makhachev would step in to continue that legacy of success. According to White, events unfolded exactly as Abdulmanap had envisioned, with Islam rising to prominence just as foretold.
He ties Anderson for the longest winning streak. He's the 11th double champ. I mean, he's right now in the greatest of all time discussion, right?
Yeah, 100%, right? You're for a guy like Islam to continue Khabib's legacy. Everybody thought Khabib could be this. Everybody thought Khabib would be there. Now Islam is doing it. He's continuing it and he's going with it. He's so good. He's a good human being. So you can't be mad at it. You have to give him his props. He's been dominating everyone recently. And yeah, I think he's definitely...
Ali Abdelaziz has argued that Islam Makhachev deserves greater recognition than Anderson Silva, pointing to his principled conduct within the sport. He highlighted Islam's commitment to competing within the rules and carrying himself with professionalism, suggesting that these qualities strengthen the case for Makhachev to be considered among the greatest of all time.
Better than ever. I never saw him breathing hard. At 155, I'll see after he gets in good wrestling scrambles or a guy might get away or something, he'll maybe take a little breath, catch his breath, and go right back into it. This was scary, man. This guy never got tired. I'd look at him after every round, wasn't even breathing, was a joke. He's going to be a scary guy at 170. The amount of strength, gas, and experience, technique he has, to me, he's #1 pound for pound.
Al Muhammad also considers Islam Makhachev firmly positioned among the greatest fighters in MMA history, noting that he has effectively continued the legacy established by Khabib Nurmagomedov with a comparable level of control and dominance. He emphasized Islam's sustained excellence and reliability, stating that there is little left to question given how consistently he defeats top-level opponents and has clearly earned his place among the sport's elite.
Really, really hard to beat this guy. I don't think I could ever bet against him now, you know, unless it's my little brother Ilya, but other than that, I mean, this guy's just a problem, man. He is so fucking good. And everywhere, his stand-up, he was fucking actually piecing up Jack on the feet. Jack was worried about the takedown. He started chopping that leg. It was a stellar performance. I know a lot of fans said it wasn't the most exciting, this and that. But man, Islam did his job. He did what he's supposed to do. Take the guy down, control him, try to hurt him, try to submit him. It's not really his fault that he's so damn good.
Masvidal also praised Islam Makhachev's dominant display, labeling him the top pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. He noted that Islam appeared impossible to overcome, showed no signs of fatigue, and combined strength, conditioning, experience, and refined technique at an elite level. Masvidal described him as a truly dangerous presence in the welterweight division at 170 pounds.
Just so strong, he is so good, he is so dominant, he is so talented, and now he becomes just the 11th fighter in UFC history to win a belt in 2 different weight classes. He is also the man who has just won his 16th fight in a row, and in doing so, ties the great Anderson Silva for the longest winning streak in UFC history. So all kinds of history made tonight at Madison Square Garden. He is the pound for pound best in the world. There is no denying that, and is slowly but surely going down as one of the greatest ever. And in my opinion, has put his mentor, Khabib Nurmagomedov, with this victory very much in the rearview mirror. He has surpassed him. If he had not done so already, Islam Makhachev is that guy.
For me, I don't know if I could answer that, because Because what Khabib was able to do for the sport and for the Muslim. I mean, obviously there were Muslims in the sport before Khabib, but what he was able to do as far as putting that on his back, I think was remarkable. So, and then the way Khabib was disposing of his guys. So it was, man, it's tough to say, but I do think Islam Makhachev is right now is up there.
Jorge Masvidal explained that beating Islam Makhachev is an extremely difficult task, saying he believes only his close friend Ilia Topuria might realistically pose a challenge to the Dagestan standout. He also drew attention to Islam's striking abilities, noting that his effectiveness on the feet comes from refined skill and development rather than relying solely on natural talent.
In any way, shape, form, or fashion, but I say it's the most competitive because when I look at a guy like Islam, I don't really see holes like that. And that's something that scares me, that causes that heartbeat to go up. And that's where you see some of the most spectacular performance. Because the last time I felt that like that was Kobe Covington won. And that's when I was like, yo, you got a guy that can wrestle just as good as you, a guy that can grapple just as good, a guy that can maybe not strike it, but a guy that can strike just as well. You have a guy that's good at all these things. How do you get that victory? And that's where you live. That's where you get that, you know, your spirit just is in there to just fight it out. And so I would say yes, if you're talking about which fight right now is probably the most competitive. And listen, Islam is great. He's great. Especially what he did last night.
Okay, so he made a big mistake there in trying to go for his own throw, ended up back on the ground, and then in rounds 3, 4, and 5, Islam just timed them perfectly. There was almost no resistance, but there was a lot of resistance on the face of Jack, right? He looked miserable. He looked like he couldn't wait for this fight to end. And I'm not saying that to insult Jack, far from it. In fact, I'm saying the opposite, because he could have taken the easy way out several times. Islam was trying to finish him. He was trying to get Kimuras. He was trying to get straight arm locks. He was trying to get the doors multiple times that he's got many other great fighters with, and he was trying to get rear naked chokes, okay? And Jack was tired. Jack was deflated. He was dejected. He was beaten, and he knew it was. He knew he was. And all he could have done was just extend his arm. All he could have done was not resist, okay? But the man was still fighting. He was still trying to get back to his feet. His coach is giving him a hard time in the corner. They're all frustrated with him because, of course, they just want the best for him, but it wasn't meant to be.
Ariel Helwani recently recognized Islam Makhachev as the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world following his latest triumph. He suggested that Islam has now surpassed his mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov, highlighting his unmatched control, technical ability, and overall skill set. This victory, Helwani noted, further separates him from Khabib's legacy, showing that Makhachev is building his own historic path in UFC history.
The fact that he couldn't do anything. He was getting taken down. He was getting controlled. He did do a good job of not giving up, okay? Because, listen, Islam is a tremendous fighter, okay? He's got a record now of 28-1. He now ties Anderson Silva for a 16-fight win streak. I still think Anderson's was more impressive because 12 of those 16 fights were title fights, and that is more impressive. And of course, we saw some wild knockouts from Anderson Silva, but still, I'm not taking away from Islam Makhachev. What he's achieved is unbelievable. He's a two-weight division champion. Anderson Silva didn't do that, and he has won 16 in a row, okay? So take a bow. Unbelievable. And it was domination from
grappling to Khabib's.
Takedowns are different. Pressure's similar. Takedowns are a little different. He does a lot of upper body stuff. He kept trying to clinch up with me. Khabib would shoot lower shots. I think Khabib was stronger, physically stronger. Islam's squeeze was incredible. That torque he got in that Darce choke, and it was like a vice, you know, it was like a vice grip. Like, I knew he was tough. I knew he was going to be strong. I knew he had grit. You know, you don't get in the position he's in by not having all of those things. You have to have everything.
And that takedown leading into the final sequence, I mean, that was pretty high level stuff, right?
Yeah. And I saw people saying like, oh, Dustin, I've never even seen that before. I've seen it. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time. I've seen it before. I just didn't think it was about to happen right there.
Did you feel like he was getting tired?
We were both fatigued just from fighting hard, but I don't think he was anywhere close to. He could have done another 5 minutes, no doubt. Both of us, you know, our punches are going to be a little slower. Our legs are a little tired, but neither one of us was tired.
Kamaru Usman remarked that Khabib Nurmagomedov's impact on MMA is unmatched, commending both his dominance inside the octagon and his role as a representative of his community. He added that, while comparing fighters from different eras is always difficult, Islam Makhachev is presently at the forefront of the sport, though. Of course, that's a hypothetical assessment in his view.